Are you looking for a job in a call centre? Want to know what it's like working in a call centre? Well, stick around. I'm going to go through all the things that I learned working in a call centre for over a year. Australia's major telecommunication giants. My regular occupation is a programmer, but at times I cannot get work, so I try different things. So working in a call centre was one of those things. So I applied for the job and I was successful. The induction/training was pretty much 2 weeks full time, being paid. The systems for this job were quite complex. Well, they weren't complex, it's just a lot of procedures and the system wasn't exactly the most user-friendly, so it took a while to get your head around everything. So the position I was in was mainly answering calls from wholesalers and providing service with any of their line queries. So generally it was provisioning services on people's landlines, like adding internet, adding special features, or taking things away, or scheduling technicians to come do some work on some lines. So basically things like that. So as a call center operator, basically we had headsets, it was a one over one ear type of affair, and a microphone. We had a PC in which we logged into some sort of a mainframe or a large server using a teletype type of app. So once the training was complete, everyone started as casual. So the call center was quite large. It was in the CBD here in Brisbane, and it was a multi-level call center. Everyone that was new started off as casuals, and there were 3 shifts. So there was a morning shift from 7 to 12, an afternoon shift from 12 to 5, and a night shift from 5 to 10 p.m. It was a rotating shift, so 2 weeks you'd be on the morning shift, 2 weeks in the afternoon shift, and 2 weeks on the night shift. So it was quite equitable. Everyone got a bit of a chance. You were basically sharing desks and computers with other people though, so you actually didn't get your own desk, so you couldn't sort of bring your stuff in and make yourself feel at home too much. And you did get to sit at different desks every so often, so you didn't even get that comfort. So one of the things, even though this job is a little while ago, one of the things I found quite interesting was how automated most of these things were. So the telephone exchanges actually did their own configuring. You just had to send the commands, or you filled in screens, and some sort of operation would send commands to the exchange to configure the lines to do their thing. So the only thing that really needed manual intervention, like a technician to come around to the person's place, was when they were provisioning internet and they didn't have the right type of cable. The other situation is when you had a new property which didn't have any existing phone line. That's pretty much the only 2 times that technicians were actually required. So everything else was pretty much automated. So I'm guessing in this day and age, probably all of the internet is automated too now. So the only thing that needs manual intervention now is probably just digging a trench and putting the lines in for a new property. I started to get quite tired of switching from morning to night to afternoon shift. So I got quite used to sleeping in after working night shift, and then suddenly the next day I had to get up super early because my morning shift started. So that was getting a bit much for me, and the switching of the hours all the time. So I started pushing the people I was working, well, my team leader, I started pushing them to assign me to a day shift. So the way it worked is they had a group of casual people doing the 3 rotating shifts, and then they had a permanent set of people who worked during the day, like normal office hours, like 9 to 5, who did the same job, but they weren't casual. So, and those people mainly comprised of older people, whereas most of the people who first started at casual were younger people. So maybe say the age of 25 to 50 were the casuals, and a lot of permanent people were older, maybe all the way up to 60. I liked the idea of working during the day, so my sleep schedule didn't get upset too much all the time, and I was working more with people my own age, and the pay was a little better too. You didn't get the loading, so you worked a whole lot more hours for just a little bit more extra money. So it wasn't for the money aspect of it, it's more for the just having a good night's sleep every night. They did give us metrics, so they logged how often we answered calls and how long it took us to provision an order. That was the terminology they used. So people would they would have a system that would have orders in it. So like, we want such and such a line to have call barring on it, or the heart rate monitoring, or internet or something. So there would be a metric on how long it would take you to do these jobs. If people rang up, how long you were on the phone for, how many calls you took per hour, all that type of stuff. So I think they were trying to create a little bit of a competitive thing there by bringing this stuff up all the time. The good thing though with this company is there's no penalty, and they didn't really push the fact that such and such does more than you per day. You got to pick up speed and all that sort of stuff. So they're quite aware and not insulting people or belittling people. So it was quite a very equitable company. So there's definitely no discrimination there. Everyone was treated fairly. And what are the good and what's the bad with a job like this? I'll go through the bad things first. The one thing I did not like with this job at all was wearing a headphone all day long. Day after day and week after week, because I did this job for well over a year. So after a while, you just want to rip that headphone off and throw it in the bin, because that noise in your ear constantly for hours and hours, it does get to you, and you really learn to hate it. And it wasn't a super high quality headphone either, so sometimes it's hard to hear the people on the other side. So I definitely did not enjoy that at all. And because you had a headphone, you were sort of tied to your desk, so you didn't have the opportunity to really socialise much or get around and talk to people. So you really couldn't do that. So you had to sit at your desk pretty much the whole time and take a break when you were designated to take a break, which is okay. So that's one negative aspect of it. The other negative aspect is more a negative to do with all shift work, I guess, is the sleep, or getting used to different sleep patterns. Also, catching the late train home from work. You get quite a few weirdos on the trains late at night during the week. So I've had other co-workers get involved in brawls on trains and fights and all sorts of drunken misbehaviour. I had another teammate actually got knocked over the head cold walking to the train station and getting robbed. And this isn't super late at night, this is only maybe like 10 p.m, 10:30 p.m. But during the week where it's very quiet, and this was it was in the CBD, but it was a quiet part of the CBD, so those sort of things were a bit negative, but that's true for any shift work, I guess. And it was in a position where it wasn't really worth bringing a car in, so there was practically no parking. When I switched from casual to full-time, I did have an older lady who kept bullying me all the time, saying very negative things about me, being a real smart ass. And this kept on for maybe about a month or so, and then I'm quite tolerant to those things, but I get to a limit where I can't take it anymore, and I really told this woman off, and in such a loud voice that I'm sure the entire floor heard. After that, she apologised and she said, "Oh, sorry, I'm having problems at home and I'm just taking it out on you." And and whatever, but at least she didn't bother me at all after that, so that was good. So the good aspect was it was a nice environment, fairly easy, very easy to get to. I mean, it was a really good location. And the Christmas party was probably the best Christmas party I've ever been to. So they actually hired a restaurant/bar that turned into a nightclub on Friday nights and Saturday nights. So they actually rented out the whole place. So we had restaurant quality food, and we actually had a nightclub just for the companies. So that was actually really good. So I enjoyed that. So I hope that was informative to somebody, and please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below if there's something I missed, and if you had similar experiences when you worked in a call center. Thanks for watching.